Have you ever looked out at your yard? That patch of dirt and tired concrete? Maybe a forgotten corner behind the garage, and felt a little uninspired? You see these incredible lush gardens in magazines and on TV, these perfect green sanctuaries where everything is in bloom. You dream of a beautiful lush oasis, where you can sip your morning coffee, read a book in the afternoon sun, or share a magical evening with friends. But then reality hits with the force of a cold front. When you look at your bank account, the sheer cost of landscaping, designer furniture, and mature plants can feel completely out of reach. If you believe that creating a truly breathtaking garden has to cost a fortune, I am so excited to tell you, think again. What if I told you that we could transform a forgotten space into a stunning, whimsical, and deeply personal retreat, using mostly things people throw away? What if the key to your dream garden wasn't in a high-end catalog, but hiding in your attic at the back of your cupboard, or waiting to be discovered at a local thrift store? That's exactly what we're going to do today. Welcome to Garden Homes, the channel where we believe that the most beautiful gardens have soul, not just a high price tag. We're dedicated to the art of transformation, proving that with a little creativity, anyone can craft a magical outdoor space without emptying their wallet. If you love the idea of turning ordinary, overlooked items into garden magic, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell right now. You won't want to miss our weekly dose of inspiration. Get ready to see the magic in everyday item. We're about to embark on a journey to turn discarded junk into incredible conversation-starting features. We will unlock the secrets to a garden that looks expensive, feels luxurious, but is secretly, wonderfully budget-friendly. Together we're going to take this dull, lifeless space and turn it into a vibrant, cozy, and personal paradise, teeming with color, light, and personality. So if you're ready to stop dreaming and start doing, stick around. Let's get our hands dirty. Alright, let's jump right in with some quick wins. These are the projects that deliver that glorious feeling of instant gratification. They're simple, charming, and they'll build your creative momentum, getting you excited for the bigger transformations that are just around the corner. These small touches are what begin to weave the story of your new garden. Idea 1. Painted stone garden markers. Your garden story, written in stone. Let's begin with a project that is not only practically free, but also a wonderfully meditative activity. Forget flimsy plastic tags that snap in the wind. We're going to create beautiful, durable plant markers that add a pop of color and personality right at ground level. Go on a treasure hunt for smooth, relatively flat stones. You might find them already in your yard, on a nature walk, or along a riverbed. Give them a good scrub with soap and water, and let them dry completely in the sun. Once they're clean, they become tiny canvases. Let your imagination run wild. I'm using simple, weather-resistant acrylic paints to write the names of my herbs: rosemary, thyme, basil, in a fun script. But you don't have to stop there. You could paint tiny pictures of the vegetable, like a little red tomato, or a leafy carrot. For a more graphic look, try painting them in solid, vibrant colors with bold, modern patterns. If you have kids, this is a fantastic project to get them involved in the garden's creation. Once your designs are dry, a quick coat of clear, outdoor-grade sealant will protect your little masterpieces from rain and sun, ensuring they look great all season long. Each stone becomes a tiny piece of custom art that makes your garden uniquely yours. Idea 2. Teacup fairy gardens, a miniature world in a cup. Now for a touch of pure, unadulterated whimsy. We're going to create tiny, magical worlds that will charm anyone who discovers them. Keep an eye out for vintage teacups at thrift stores or flea markets, especially those with a chip or a crack that makes them unwanted for drinking, but perfect for planting. That beautiful floral patterned cup with a broken handle, it's destined for a new life. Start by adding a thin layer of small pebbles or gravel at the bottom for drainage. Then top with a little potting soil. Now for the magic. Plant tiny succulents, clippings of moss, or miniature flowers like baby's tears. The real fun comes in creating the scene. Use pebbles to make a tiny path, a small seashell as a bird bath, or an acorn cap as a flower pot. You can even craft miniature furniture from twigs and wire. Place these little gardens nestled amongst larger plants on a shelf or a windowsill. They're a delightful secret, a tiny world that invites you to look closer and sparks your imagination. It's a reminder that the grandest magic often comes in the smallest packages. Idea 3. Boot bouquets from worn out to wonderful. Before you toss those old, worn-out rain boots that have sprung a leak, or the kids' colorful wellies they've outgrown, stop. These are not trash. They are character-filled, quirky planters just waiting to happen. The brighter and more colorful the boots, the better. They add an instant, unexpected splash of joy to any corner of your garden. The most crucial step is ensuring proper drainage so your plants don't get waterlogged. This is easily done. Just take a drill or a hammer and a large nail and carefully punch a few holes in the sole of each boot. Then simply fill them with potting soil and plant them with your favorite flowers. Trailing plants like petunias or lobelia look fantastic as they spill over the sides, but a vibrant burst of upright marigolds or geraniums works beautifully too. You can line them up along a wall, place a single boot by your doorstep as a cheerful welcome, or hang them from a fence. It's a fun, playful idea that proves style doesn't have to be serious. Idea 4. Tin can wind chimes. A symphony of recycled sound. Let's appeal to another sense: sound. A garden that sounds as beautiful as it looks feels truly alive. Instead of buying a generic wind chime, let's make one from the humble tin can. Start saving cans of different sizes: soup cans, tomato cans, bean cans. After washing them thoroughly and removing the labels, you can get creative. I'm painting mine in a rainbow of bright glossy colors to catch the light. You could also wrap them in jute twine for a rustic look, or leave them bare for an industrial chic vibe. Once they're decorated, carefully punch a hole in the center of the bottom of each can. Then find a hang. This could be a sturdy stick, a metal ring, or even the top of an old kitchen whisk. Using twine or fishing line, thread it through the hole in each can, adding a washer or a nut on the inside to act as a clapper. String the cans at varying lengths from your hanger so they'll gently knock against each other in the breeze. The result is a deeper, more mellow clatter than traditional chimes. A gentle, rustic music that's uniquely yours. Idea 5. Book planter boxes where literature and nature meet. This project is for the dreamers, the readers, the lovers of old, forgotten things. We're turning hardcover books into homes for the smallest of plants. Look for beautiful but damaged vintage books at thrift stores or library sales, ones with missing pages or broken spines that are no longer readable but still have gorgeous ornate covers. To make them, you'll need to create a cavity for the plant. Open the book and, using a craft knife, carefully cut a rectangular hole through the pages, leaving a solid border of about an inch all the way around. This takes patience, but the result is worth it. Once you have your cavity, you need to waterproof it thoroughly. Brush multiple coats of Mod Podge or a similar sealant on the inside of the cavity and all over the outside of the book to protect it from moisture. After it's completely dry and sealed, you can plant a small drought-tolerant succulent or air plant in. These literary planters look incredible sitting on an outdoor side table or a covered porch shelf. It's a poetic fusion of stories and Idea 6. Broken pottery fairy paths. Paving a path with beautiful mistakes. We all have those moments of clumsiness. A favorite plate slips, a ceramic pot shatters. But before you sweep those pieces into the bin with a sigh, see them for what they could be: the building blocks of a magical mosaic pathway. Start a collection jar for any broken bits of pottery, ceramic tiles, or even colorful sea glass. Choose a small area where you want to create your path, perhaps winding between larger planters, or leading to a hidden nook. Dig a shallow trench, just an inch or two deep. Then arrange your broken pieces inside, colorful side up, like you're putting together a jigsaw puzzle. Don't worry about perfection, the beauty is in the randomness. Once you're happy with the design, you can either press the pieces firmly into the soil, or for a more permanent solution, mix up some quickset concrete, and pour it carefully around the shard. Before it fully sets, use a damp sponge to wipe any concrete film off the faces of the pieces to reveal their patterns and colors. It becomes a durable, stunning path paved with memories, a beautiful reminder that even broken things can be made whole and wonderful again. Idea 7. Floating teacup bird feeders. An invitation for feathered friends. Let's create a magical illusion that will delight both you and your garden visitors. This project turns a simple teacup and saucer into a bird feeder that appears to be floating in midair, forever pouring out seeds. You'll need a vintage teacup and matching saucer, and a strong waterproof adhesive like epoxy. The trick is in the connection. You'll be gluing the teacup on its side to the saucer, as if it has just tipped over. This creates a sheltered spot for the bird seed. But here's the clever part. You'll also glue a piece of chain or a metal rod to the bottom of the saucer, and another piece hidden inside the cup. When you hang the chain from a tree branch, it creates the illusion of suspension. Fill the saucer and the opening of the cup with bird seed. Small birds will love perching on the edge of the saucer to feed. It's a functional feeder, a piece of sculpture, and a conversation starter all in one. Wow, what a difference already. Can you feel the personality starting to shine through? These 7 simple ideas have already taken this space from drab to darling, infusing it with color, sound, and a touch of pure magic. If you're loving these budget-friendly tips and your mind is already buzzing with ideas, do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. We have so much more trash to treasure wizardry coming your way, and I would love for you to be part of our growing creative community. Now let's roll up our sleeves and get building. Okay, with our motivation running high from those quick wins, it's time to tackle some bigger, more structural projects. This is where we really start to build the core of our oasis, creating functional and beautiful features from things that others might have thrown away. These builds will become the anchors of your new garden. An old, rickety wooden stepladder that's no longer safe for climbing is the perfect, ready-made plant stand. Look for one at a garage sale or in your own shed. The more weathered and paint-splattered, the more character it has. There's no need to pretty it up. We want that rustic, well-loved charm. Simply open the ladder up, and its rungs and steps instantly become shelves. If the rungs are narrow, you can easily lay a plank of wood across them to create wider platforms. Now you can arrange a variety of pots on each level. This is perfect for an herb garden, keeping all your culinary favorites like parsley, mint and chives right within reach. It draws the eye upward, making a small patio or balcony feel so much more dynamic and lush. It's a 5-minute project that adds instant farmhouse style and practical planting space. Idea 9. The gutter vertical herb garden. Growing up when you can't grow out. When you're truly short on ground space, you have to think vertical. This project turns a boring fence or a bare wall into a living, productive masterpiece. Old rain gutters are a brilliant and incredibly cheap solution for a shallow planter system. You can often find sections for free or very cheap from building sites or hardware store offcut bin. First, you'll need to seal the ends of each gutter section with end caps, which you can buy or fashion yourself. Then drill a series of drainage holes all along the bottom of each gutter. The most visually interesting way to mount them is in a zigzag pattern on a wall or fence. This allows any water overflow from the top gutter to drip down and water the one below it. The shallow depth of gutters is absolutely perfect for growing plants with smaller root systems, like lettuce, spinach, radishes, and especially strawberries, which will love to trail their fruit over the edge. It's an incredibly efficient, modern-looking way to grow your own food in even the tiniest of spaces. Idea 10. The drawer herb garden. Steps a cascade of greenery. Here's another fantastic way to create cascading levels. Look for an old, unloved chest of drawers. It doesn't matter if it's scratched or the frame is wobbly, as long as the drawers themselves are reasonably solid. You won't even need the main dresser frame for this project. Simply pull the drawers out and arrange them in a staircase formation. You can place the largest drawer at the bottom, the next size up resting on its back edge, and so on, creating a tumbling, tiered effect. To ensure they last, it's a good idea to drill drainage holes in the bottom of each drawer, and perhaps line them with some plastic sheeting before adding soil. This cascading planter is perfect for creating a lush waterfall of herbs or flowers. Plant trailing varieties at the front of each drawer and more upright plants at the back to create a full, abundant look. It's a truly unique feature that gives old furniture a new green purple. Idea 11. The vintage suitcase planter, a well-traveled garden. Give your plants a story to tell by turning a vintage suitcase into a charming, self-contained garden bed. Hardshell suitcases from the 50s, 60s, or 70s work best, and can often be found at thrift stores for just a few dollars. The scuffs and travel stickers just add to their character. To prepare your suitcase, prop it open. You may want to reinforce the hinge so it stays open at a 90-degree angle. Next, protect the interior from water damage by lining it with a heavy-duty plastic liner or a pond liner, stapling it securely to the inside edges. Be sure to poke several drainage holes through both the liner and the bottom of the suitcase. Fill the bottom half with soil and you're ready to plant. These are wonderful for creating a themed garden, perhaps a rockery with succulents and sand, or a lush bed of annuals. It's a portable, whimsical flower bed that looks like it's just stopped off on a worldly adventure. Idea 12. The sink flower bed, where function meets flower power. Don't let that old bathroom or kitchen sink end up in a landfill. With its deep basin and built-in drainage hole, an old sink is a natural-born planter. Look for vintage porcelain sinks with interesting shapes or elegant cast-iron ones at reclamation yards or during home renovations. This is one of the easiest upcycling projects ever. The drain hole is already there, so you just need to ensure it doesn't get clogged. Placing a piece of mesh or a few large stones over it will do the trick. Then simply fill the basin with potting soil. Sinks are deep enough to accommodate plants with larger root balls, like dwarf shrubs or roses, but they also look fantastic overflowing with a mix of colorful annuals. You can place the sink directly on the ground, or for extra height and grandeur, Build a simple pedestal for it from bricks or wooden blocks. It's a quirky sculptural element that adds a touch of unexpected humor and style. Idea 13. The pallet vertical succulent wall. A living wall of art. Now for a real showstopper. Vertical gardens are hugely popular, but the kits can be incredibly expensive. We can make a stunning one for next to nothing using a simple wooden pallet. The first and most critical step is to find the right kind of pallet. Look for a stamp on the side that says HT. This means it was heat treated, not chemically treated with methyl bromide. MB. Only HT pallets are safe to use for planting. Once you have your safe pallet, stand it upright. You'll need to create pockets for the soil by stapling landscape fabric along the front, middle and back of the pallet slats, leaving the top openings accessible. Lay the pallet flat and fill each pocket from the top with a cactus and succulent potting mix. Now for the fun part. Start planting. Poke small holes in the fabric and insert your succulent cuttings. Succulents are incredibly resilient and will quickly root. Leave the pallet lying flat in a sunny spot for a few weeks to allow the plants to establish themselves. Then you can carefully raise it to a vertical position against a wall. It's a dramatic, low-maintenance piece of living art. Idea 14. The bicycle planter. Putting the pedal to the metal. That rusty old bicycle leaning against the shed isn't junk. It's the framework for your garden's next whimsical centerpiece. Vintage-style bikes with baskets are particularly charming. The first step is to give it a new lease on life with a coat of paint. A bright, bold color like sunshine yellow, turquoise or classic red will turn it into a piece of sculpture. Use a spray paint that's formulated for metal and rust resist. Once painted, find a prominent spot for it and secure it so it won't tip over. You can lean it against a tree or use stakes to hold it steady. Now turn every available surface into a planting opportunity. Line the front basket with moss or a coconut liner and fill it with flower. Add pannier baskets to the back and do the same. You can even strap a small crate or pot to the seat. Plant with trailing flowers like ivy, geraniums and petunias that will cascade down and weave through the spokes, eventually making the bike look as though it's blooming. It's an unforgettable feature that brings movement and storytelling into the garden. These are the details, the lighting, the art, the finishing touches of personality that will elevate this space from a collection of nice projects into a truly enchanting and cohesive oasis. Idea 15. The umbrella. Hanging garden. A shower of flowers. This idea takes something designed to keep water away and does the exact opposite. An old umbrella, especially one with a beautiful pattern or a classic hooked handle, can be transformed into a stunning and unique hanging planter. A broken umbrella that no longer opens or closes properly is a perfect candidate. Open the umbrella and hang it upside down by its handle from a tree branch or a pergola. The canopy now forms a deep cone. To make it hold soil, you'll need to poke a few small drainage holes near the bottom, right by the central pole. Then fill it about 2/3 full with a lightweight potting mix. This is the perfect home for trailing plants that will spill over the edges and down the sides, creating the illusion of a waterfall of flowers. Fuchsias, AV, or string of pearls would look absolutely breathtaking. It's a surprising and delightful twist that will have everyone talk. Idea 16. The chandelier planter. A touch of decadent greenery. Bring a touch of ballroom elegance to your garden by reimagining an old chandelier as a hanging planter. Hunt for old, ornate light fixtures at flea markets or reclamation yards. It doesn't matter if the wiring is shot. In fact, it's better if it is. We're interested in its beautiful curving arms and decorative structure. First, remove all the electrical wiring and light bulb sockets. This will often leave you with perfect, cup-shaped holders where the bulbs used to be. If not, you can attach small terracotta pots to the arms using strong wire or epoxy. This is an ideal showcase for succulents or air plants, which don't require much soil or water. You can tuck them into the cups with a bit of moss. Hang the finished chandelier from a sturdy tree limb or the rafters of your porch. It's an unexpected touch of grandeur, a piece of decayed opulence given a new, living purpose. Idea 17. The wine bottle tiki torch. An evening of elegant glow. Create sophisticated ambient lighting for your garden evenings with this incredibly simple project. Start collecting empty wine bottles. The different colors like green, blue, and brown will cast a beautiful glow. You'll need tiki torch replacement wicks and a brass or copper coupling from the plumbing aisle of the hardware store that fits snugly into the neck of the bottle. Simply fill the bottles about 3/4 full with tiki torch fuel. Then insert the wick into the metal coupling, leaving about 1/2 inch of wick sticking out of the top. Place the coupling into the top of the wine bottle, and let the wick soak up the fuel for about 20 minutes before lighting. You can group them on a table for a centerpiece or strategically place them along a path. They create a gentle flickering light that is far more elegant than standard torches and adds a warm, magical ambiance to your garden after dark. Idea 18. The teapot fountain. A perpetual pour of tranquility. The gentle sound of trickling water is one of the most relaxing sounds in a garden. You can create your own charming water feature using a collection of old teapots. The illusion we're creating is one teapot perpetually pouring water into another. You'll need a few vintage teapots, a large waterproof basin or pot for the base, and a small submersible fountain pump. Arrange your teapots in a stack, perhaps on a pile of rocks or bricks within your basin, so they cascade downwards. The magic lies in hiding the pump's clear plastic tubing. Run the tube from the pump, submerged in water in the basin, up the back of your teapot stack, and into the spout of the very top teapot. When you switch it on, the pump will push water up through the tube, where it will pour from the top teapot's spout, trickle down over the others and collect back in the basin, to be recirculated. It's a whimsical, mesmerizing feature that adds both sound and motion to your garden. Idea 19. The watering can light feature. Pouring a stream of starlight, let's capture the magic of fireflies in a jar, but with a twist. This project creates the beautiful illusion of a stream of sparkling lights being poured from a watering can. You'll need a vintage-style metal watering can, and a set of battery-operated, waterproof fairy lights with a thin wire, often called starry string lights. The assembly is wonderfully simple. Just take the string of lights and carefully feed the wire strands through the holes in the spout of the watering can, letting them trail out and down like streams of water. The battery pack can be tucked discreetly inside the watering can itself. At dusk, switch on the light. You can hang the can from a shepherd's hook, so it looks like it's watering a patch of flowers with pure light. It's an absolutely enchanting, almost magical effect that costs very little to create and adds a huge dose of wonder to your evening garden. Idea 20. The mirror garden expansion. The illusion of endless space. Our final touch is a classic designer trick used to make small spaces feel grand and mysterious. A strategically placed mirror can transform a garden, reflecting light into shady corners and creating the illusion of a secret gateway into another hidden garden beyond. Look for an old window frame or an arched door at a reclamation yard. The more weathered and characterful, the better. Instead of fitting it with real glass, which can be heavy, expensive, and dangerous, have a piece of mirrored acrylic cut to size. It's lightweight, shatterproof, and perfect for outdoor use. Secure the acrylic mirror into the frame and hang it on a fence or a wall, particularly one at the end of a path. Surround it with plants, allowing vines to creep up the edges, to enhance the illusion that you are looking through a portal. It's a touch of brilliant deception that makes your garden feel bigger, brighter, and infinitely more interesting. From a pallet-turned-succulent wall to a whimsical teacup fairy garden, every reused item tells a story. Old ladders became plant shelves, broken pottery paved paths, and discarded sinks and drawers bloomed into vibrant flower beds. Using only repurposed materials and a spark of creativity, we turned trash into treasure, proving that beauty doesn't require a big budget, just vision. Thank you for being part of this journey. May it inspire you to see your own space as a canvas for transformation. If you enjoyed this video and you want more ideas for living a beautiful life on a budget, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Garden Homes. It truly does help the channel grow. But most importantly, I would love to hear from you in the comments below. Which of these 20 ideas was your absolute favorite? Or do you have a favorite trash to treasure project of your own that you've created? Share it with our community. Let's inspire each other. Thanks for watching, and happy gardening.